Hi, Alex McFarland here, and I want to talk for a moment about the resurrection of Christ. You know, several weeks from now, as we film this, is April. And the first weekend of April, Christians around the world will celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now, why is this significant? I want to talk about why this matters and really how I believe, and many scholars have believed, that the resurrection of Christ is the best conclusion in light of all the known evidence. This is significant because if Christ rose from the dead, this would confirm the man and the message, who he was and what he taught. Also, the big questions of life. Does God exist? And is there an afterlife? And is salvation possible? If Christ arose, then what he taught necessarily is true, because God would not raise a heretic from the dead, and Christ taught that there is an afterlife, salvation is possible, this is a theistic universe, God exists. In other words, as a number of scholars have noted, I think about people like C.S. Lewis, I think about Peter Kraft, brilliant scholars, J.P. Moreland, Gary Habermas, Norm Geisler, people that have a lot of time invested in looking into this, Dr. Mike Licona, others. Look, if Christ arose, then what he taught is true, and what he promised, really, the forgiveness of sins and eternal life, reunion with our loved ones, it's all real. It's all real. Now, years ago, there was a Scottish skeptic named David Hume, and David Hume basically set in motion the idea that miracles are impossible, because what he said was the laws of nature mean miracles can't happen. But it's been pointed out that natural law, like entropy, that when people die, they stay dead, natural laws are descriptive of what usually happens, not prescriptive of what must happen. And by its very nature, a miracle, an act of God, is something that supersedes natural law. We know ordinarily Red Seas don't part, the bread and the fish don't multiply themselves, and dead bodies don't rise on their own. But an act of God is a miracle, and the resurrection would certainly qualify as that. Now let me ask you this question. If God exists, can he reach into this world and do things? Of course, there's no logical reason that God couldn't do a miracle. And of course, belief in a theistic world means belief in miracles. So I want to throw a word out here as we wrap up here in a second, but the word is methodological naturalism. In other words, methodological means you're going to approach things with this presupposition that miracles can't happen. And while I will grant you a miracle is a deviation from the norm, there's no logical reason categorically to state that God couldn't do a miracle. Hey, God is God. He can do whatever he wants to do. At least whatever he wants to do that's in harmony with his nature. The theistic belief in God is not that God is going to sin, or God is going to lie, or God is going to betray his nature. But my point is this: none of the naturalistic theories to explain away the resurrection really work. Stolen body, hallucination, fraud, all of these things that we've talked about, and I talk about in a lot of my books, like The God You Thought You Knew and 10 Answers for Skeptics. We unpack in depth the theories to explain away the resurrection. None of them really hold water. And I will grant you, it takes faith. In fact, it's a step of faith that will change your life. But the best conclusion, in light of all the known evidence, is that that tomb is empty and Christ arose. And what does that mean? It confirms who he was and what he taught. Hey, you can find out more at my website, alexmcfarland.com. I would encourage you to look into this most significant of subjects, because as Stephen King said on Larry King's show one time, if Christ arose, and the evidence says he did, this changes everything. And I would agree. Hey, please share on social media, like us, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, we're all there. Truth for a New Generation, and Alex McFarland. Thanks for watching. God bless you.
My Harris experience has been absolutely amazing.
People don't just come here and leave the same.
you can't.
I think it's awesome. I'm amazed about students, young and older, are willing to root up from homes and come.
I'm just gonna go for it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be obedient because I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't.
God has something for you. Here, come.
You will be changed.